250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow, sharecropping, the Ku Klux Klan, lynchings, bombings, mass incarceration, the separation and destruction of the black family. All of that has had an effect on our mind. Our mind needs to be decolonized. We today are experiencing mental slavery, not physical slavery as once our ancestors had to endure. In my book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we take you through every step to start releasing the chains that's on your mind. He or she who controls the mind control the person. It is in a vested interest of the white supremacist system to keep your mind bogged down in a mental slavery, throwing entertainment, throwing drugs, throwing alcohol, anything they can at you to keep you bogged down. You got to free yourself from mental slavery by purchasing our book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, today on Amazon. Make sure you share it with your family, share it with your friends. Everyone can benefit from decolonizing the mind, because once your mind is decolonized, you will never be put to sleep again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. I'm gonna do my own little sound check like normal, because all right, we sound good. So I want to join you today to speak about the power of Pan-Europeanism. Now, doing things a little different, and I'm probably going to do that from this way forward on at least live streams. What we're going to do is, we want to eliminate, the actual trolling that comes in these kind of conversations. So the best way to eliminate the trolling is to have those who have joined us as members as low as, I think, $1.99 or so. Let the members have their conversation. We can make sure we know who they are. We can also get them modded up, so we have more mods that we should have, because if you become a member, you can become a mod. That's kind of how we doing it now. But when we have these conversations, you have so many trolls coming in, derailing conversations instead of focusing on the subject matter. Now, anybody can make a comment, of course, but just during the live stream, we want to do members only, and just make that a perk for live streams. Just like with our members here, they get to see the videos ahead of time, just like the people on Patreon. We posted there, and shout out to our Patreon members as well. We post the content. The moment I'm done with it, we put it up. You get to see it, and that's just kind of how we want to do that, because you got to give a little bit more perks for that, because it takes, like I say, regardless, it takes funds to run black media. I mean, yes, you may see us getting ads now, which was a long time coming, but the more funding that we can get, the more people we could bring in. Last night, I went to the Houston area black journalist mixer. I had joined the HABJ like a while back, but COVID hit, so I couldn't really do anything. Everything kind of got shut down. But I actually got to go out and meet some great, brothers and sisters that's in this field. And let me tell you something. I had got a comment on Instagram and say, well, how did they respond to you since, you in online media? So actually, it was great responses. A lot of them had a lot of questions. From what I see, they do not treat them good at all. Wow. Just some of the stories that I was getting. Some great, talented people. I was just saying to myself when I was sitting there, I was like, God, man, I wish I could just tell some of them, like, look, go ahead, drop that job today. You can come over here to African Diaspora News Channel. I wish I was in a position to do that, because there was just so, much great talent there that I wish I could have got on the spot. I'm not to say I can't do that, but everything has to be budgeted. You make sure to take care of, the team we have, and then we look at additions in 2022 for sure. But we getting connected. We trying to get back out there to start meeting and talking with the people. Because the one thing I hated about the pandemic is that you can't network. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't network. I think the NABJ, they doing virtual. So it's like, I'm not going to do no virtual conference. That's just not going to happen. I need to talk with people. It's not the same, it's like shaking hands and getting business cards and different things like that. So hopefully they get this mess under control. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with that. If you follow me on Instagram, You remember Jim Crow Joe and them say they're going to start going to your house? And you can go to my Instagram and you see they already doing it. So it's getting real out here with that, but that's not the purpose of this particular live stream. So I've been looking at what's going on in one day. Okay. Shout out to Faith Speaks Life. Thank you for the comment. Okay. So I was looking at everything that's going on in South Africa, and I want to do a separate stream about South Africa, but I want to see Brother Elvis, shout out to him, saying that he could possibly, edit that footage where it won't get me in trouble here on YouTube, because it's a lot of, it's very graphic and we need to blur out a whole lot. So he said he's going to work on that for me, so at least I can inform the people of what's going on, because in its original state, I can't do that. But I'm looking at us as a collective of black people. And I made like a little short message about this on my Instagram this morning. And I was talking about the division in the collective, black world, and how we're divided on so many different levels. We're divided on class, religion. We're divided on, tribe. Some of us that talk about tribe. We talk about different cultures. We divided on so many different things, right? But yet, the European, and we talking about the collective of Europeans, are unified. Now, many people will say Pan-Africanism, that just don't work, that can't work. We understand Pan-Africanism is more so a diaspora concept. It's not practice in the African continent, but of course we always been trailblazers with different things before things have gotten other places. So it doesn't mean much in that area. Just because we start something doesn't mean it can't be the global populace. But a lot of people have said that Pan-Africanism just don't work. We are our own distinct people, and we are. And they're their own distinct people. Look at how they act with us. Look at what these groups do with us. And when we look at the results of all the division, that you're not my people, she's not like me, I don't like him because he ain't my people, I don't like her because she's not my people, Michael B. Jordan, let's come against Michael B. Jordan about some rum called Juve, Nicki Minaj and other people in Trinidad. Let's come against him because that's real important, but we're not going to talk about the Chinese that's literally taking over Trinidad. We're not going to talk about any of that. You see, we focus on so many silly things against each other, while those who are the superpowers are, you look at right now, let's call it what it is. It's the white supremacists and the Chinese. That's the main two right now. And I want to talk about some things with the Europeans, and I may backdoor about the Chinese as well. Why are they on top? What did they realize so they can literally be on top? Now you can say they got slave money. That's part of it. But what did they realize? Even in this country, how is it that they are so divided, yet they know exactly when to come together against you and against me? How is it they know when to put their differences aside and unify? You understand? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it just for a little bit here, because nothing. And I don't care about your excuses, because I'm looking at the collective black world. And when I say collective black world, I'm talking about Black America. I'm talking about Black Latin America. I'm talking about Black Caribbean. I'm talking about continental Africa, and wherever we are located. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of us. I'm not pointing one person out over another, because we all do the same thing. We're collectively at the bottom. We're collectively oppressed. You could talk about, well, this one got money and that one got money. Individuals don't mean crap when you look at the collective. Now, if the collective was doing good, I would have a different conversation. No matter where we go in the world, everybody's against us. Everybody hates us. Let's call it what it is. No matter where we at in the world. Now, shout out to the new members. Now, check this out. We're going to talk about two entities. We're going to talk about, number one, NATO. Now, NATO came together after World War II. After World War II, they said, wait a minute, hold on. we fighting each other. This costs a lot of lives. This costs a lot of money. I think it would be best that we get together so we could run and rule as white supremacy. So let me break down and show you the nations that's in NATO, because I want to take the time to do this. And I'm going to point some things out why I'm doing it. Okay. So I'm going to go through all these slides and we're going to point out the NATO and who they are and what they're doing. Okay. So in NATO, you have Albania, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic. We're going to start with them. The Albanians, if you look at that, they have their distinct flag. They are their distinct people with their distinct history. The people in Belgium, the Bulgarians, the Canadians, all these different people are different people. They're not all the same. Okay? But how is it that they say, you know what? Yes, we're all different, but in the grand scheme of things, the way this world, we have fashioned this world to run on race and not all those differences, we're more powerful coming together as white than all these little silly differences. Let's keep going here. You got Denmark, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, and Hungary. Once again, all their own distinct people. None of them are the same people. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania. Oh, how you say that? Hold on. Lithuania, Luxembourg, Montenegro. All their own distinct people. They distinct heritage, they distinct culture. Even though they're white, they're not the same. The same thing that a lot of y'all like to say about whether you're continental African, whether you're Caribbean, whether you're Latin America, whether you here in this nation here, Canadian, wherever we at as black people. Okay. The Netherlands, North Macedonia, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania. And then you get down to the last one here is you have Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Turkey, which is the white Arabs, the UK, and the United States. All these countries shows Pan-Europeanism. White folks understand that, yes, we may be different. We may speak different languages, but we know we have to practice Pan-Europeanism and come together to maintain power in this world. And we got to work together militarily to do so. And we got to put the money up for this group. You understand? How is it that the people that literally run the world right now, let's call it what it is, understand unification works? But people all the time want to say, well, Pan-Africanism this and Pan-Africanism that. Well, Pan-Europeanism working just fine. They're their own distinct people. They're their own distinct groups. Now, Brother Nathaniel from Israel United in Christ had made a comment. And he said that, which I have to agree. He said that the scriptures teach that God called us to unify. And we've never done it. And we see what the white folks do. The white folks unify all the time. And this is why they collectively stay ahead, because they understand unification. Even if they fighting against each other, they are definitely unified against anybody that don't look like them. Even in this country, let's talk about this country. Let me get myself back on the screen here in a minute. Let me clear this out. Even in this country, hold on, I got one more. Where am I at? Okay. Hold on. I know I got one on the screen somewhere. All right. So even in this country, let's talk about that, since maybe some people that may be listening to this talking about, international geopolitics may not be the thing, because I understand. I'm not blaming you, but the American education system has failed all of us, including me. You understand? And I believe that we need to get educated. When I say get educated, I don't mean going to the college and getting a master's degree, because they got a lot of uneducated people with master's degrees. Okay. You can get educated every day by picking up, looking for a subject and start deep dive researching into it, researching into history, whatever. You don't have to have their quote unquote formal education to be educated. I want to make sure I put that out there. But if you look into this country, so it make it a little easier for some people to digest what I'm saying. In the West of the United States, a lot of them are hardcore liberal. You got the South, a lot of them hardcore conservative. You got the ones in the East, you know how they hardcore liberal. Then you got the Midwest, that's a little bit of the two, right? And they argue all the time. They're at each other's throats a lot of times about politics in this country. But every time it's time to come together against you and me, all that goes away. Do you notice that? Whether they white LGBT or white evangelical Christian, all that goes away real quick when it comes to dealing with you and me. We call it a code, but their code is basically just unification. When you say the word code, it's not something mysterious. They practice this. Now, they also practice divide and conquer with other people. Yes. Now let's bring up the Chinese. The Chinese know their game. So that's why the Chinese have clamped down on them coming into their country. They say every plot that the CIA tried in China fails. Why? Because they got it clamped down so tight. They don't play that dissension. They don't play that selling out. That it's just not going to work in their country. This is why the Chinese is also on top, because the Chinese are very unified about China. How is it that everybody that's on top understands unification, but we don't understand it? And listen, so we could say, okay, self-hate, whatever. But let's be realistic, man. Let's kind of be realistic. Some things have some origin, I agree. But in 2021, we have to have these hard conversations. I haven't had a single white person per se teach me to hate black people or hate myself. We teach those teachings to each other in our own communities. And it's not just here in America. It happens in Latin America. It happens in the Caribbean. It happens in the continent of Africa. We so programmed to teach how that Mzungu is so much better, how we want to attain that. And we keep that going. So much so, just like we on program. This is why we need to be decolonized in our mind, as I was talking about in that book of one that we just put out. We need to be decolonized. But you see how these people, they stick together. Now, let's revert to South Africa right now, because that's a subject that needs to be talked about. So right now they're having, unrest go on in South Africa. They have a place, I think in Durban, they call it Phoenix, this area. They call it the Phoenix Massacre. Do you know Indians? And I got some history on the Indians, and make sure I put their history out. Indians came to South Africa because they could not deal with the issues in their own country. They come there saying, "Oh, can you please let us in?" And they couldn't fight off the problems in their own country, so they ran. They ran to South Africa. Okay, and what I'm being told is that the brothers and sisters opened their arms to them to let them come into South Africa. And now what they're doing, if you've seen the video, if you have not, I don't know. They're out here riding around just shooting at South Africans. We're talking about the black ones. They out here shooting them. They're shooting them point blank. They're beating them. They're doing all kind of killings right now, and nothing is being really done about that situation. Now, I'm hearing that South Africans are telling me about it. And listen, you know me, I'm going to say fight back. But see, this is the thing I got to tell you. I'm a whole lot of miles away from you. So I got to tell you the truth. The problem on that African continent is the problem, as I said, throughout the black world. All that tribalism that you got going on in that continent, where has that gotten you? Where has it gotten you? I'm this tribe, I'm that tribe, this is my people, I don't like him, I don't like her. Where has that gotten you? All of you collectively in the same position. Where has that gotten you? When those Indians is riding around killing you, are they asking you, are you a Zulu? Are they asking you, you a Xhosa? Are they asking you that? Or are they just seeing black skin, let's go after that dude. Let's go after this sister over here. They don't care. Y'all have to move up to the 21st century in the system that we all are living in. We're living in a race-based global system. The tribes, the this, the that, it doesn't matter. When you looking at the white supremacist, he's looking at you at your color, not your tribe, not your religion, not your socioeconomic status, not your political affiliation. They don't care about that. How many times that we have to stay losing as a collective of people behind divisions? It doesn't work. Even those that come to this country with that. Oh, them black Americans this and black Americans that. I would say that division didn't work in your country because you came over here talking about you want a better life. You haven't figured that out yet? What is so hard for y'all to figure out that not unifying is not working? Because surely being apart isn't working. It's not producing crap. Now, I will admit, I got to admit, Africans even told me this from multiple parts of Africa, that black Americans are about the most unified out of the black world. That come from Africans. And we kind of have to be, because we don't have the luxury to be, well, I'm this tribe, I'm that tribe, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. That's why I don't even like to see that in black America, that all this, I'm this. No, because we all in the same boat. We got to get it together as a people. It don't matter if you more educated, got more money, more success. At the end of the day in this country, you still an N-word. You can become the president of the United States with a white mama and they still gonna call you the N-word. Barack Obama. Ain't nothing you could do to look down on your people. Nothing. No matter how high you go, they still gonna put you in that position. And if they give it to you, they gonna take it from you too. How many times have we seen that? So never get so brand new to think that you're so much better than the average brother and sister. Never think that. If you're not controlling the country that you're living in. But them folks understand Pan-Europeanism. If you don't get it about coming together, if you don't understand unification, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told y'all a long time ago that unification is like an atomic bomb. Let's go back to last summer, when brothers and sisters saw what happened to George Floyd. That sparked unification in y'all, okay? Nobody was fussing about socioeconomics. Nobody was talking about Democrat, Republican. Nobody was talking about any of that. People was upset. People were tired. So they went out there and did what they felt they needed to do to try to get some justice. Them folks were shaking at that point. Them corporations, look at them corporations start talking about throwing money at black folks. And all. Black Lives Matter was gone. They was gone. They even wormed their way back into everything because of this. And they finessed in the process. And every time we got their back on against the wall with unification, they throw you a bone by putting Chauvin in jail. Then everybody backs off. You don't back off when you got them against the wall. No. The only time you back off is when you get laws changed, like what King did. For instance, we need reparations. Okay, you don't back off till you get reparations. You don't back off till qualified immunity is gone, because Chauvin and Darren Wilson and Daniel Pantaleo and any other race soldier out there, they are not the problem. The system is the problem, and the system has to change. And yes, we can make it change, but it can only change through unification. Everybody's unified against black folks. We look at the Asian community, how they all unified to get in the bag against black folk. We see that. What do we have in our community? Instead of having unification, no matter if they putting their hands on you, you still got people in our community that will go right back into those shops, right back there because, well, they a little bit more, they a little cheaper than maybe the black shops are. But other groups don't even care if we sell something cheaper. They support their own people because they understand unification, because they understand the power of unity. They understand it. And what makes me upset and gets me angry a lot with the black collective is that everybody gets something so simple, self-preservation, but you don't get it. You believe the white man, the Asian man, the Arab man, the Indian man, the Pakistani man, for the most part, you believe everybody's ice is colder and better than your own. You can see these people treat your people any kind of way, and you go right back in there. Do you really think? I really believe the collective of black people really have low self-esteem about ourselves collectively and no self-respect at all. Because anybody with some self-respect would not go to somebody that's going to treat you like that. They wouldn't. You're literally carrying the economy of multiple groups, including this Mzungu too. You're providing great lives for all these people that have no respect for you, treat you any kind of way. And all that would end. See, listen, we could talk about racism, but we could put an end to racism too. But it can only be put together through unification. As long as everybody trying to do their own thing and you here and I'm there and you're doing this and I'm doing that, instead of coming together on a collective sense, that's always going to end. For instance, Roly-Poly Martin. I'm going to talk about him because he has a platform. Roly-Poly Martin had made a comment about he's trying to fight for ad dollars, whatever. Fine. I don't have an issue with what he's doing. But he said that people tell him about reparations. He said, no, I'm trying to get these dollars now and this and that and the third. Why are you focusing just on getting ad dollars from white corporations instead of let's get reparations for the whole group? That's why people was telling you, Roland, that it's kind of seemed like you're only thinking about yourself. Instead of saying, you know what, I got a platform. Let's all speak in one unison about reparations. Let's speak in one unison about something because it affects everybody. Because when the police start shooting at you, they don't ask you if you're from the Caribbean or you from Somalia or from wherever you're from, Black America. They don't care. What's so hard to figure that out? We have a bunch of selfish, good-for-nothing black folk. You get in the CBC, you don't want to do nothing for black people, whether you're from here or you in CARICOM getting into the CBC. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got these little subgroups where they doing for, oh, this is my group. I'm going to do for this one and I'm going to do for that one. And then the African Union, you too. Let me circle back to you. Let me get back to the continent. You got a whole African Union, and there's been nations like Haiti and other ones tried to get into the African Union, and you said at the time, no. You just as guilty too. You're supposed to be the African Union, representing the Africans all over the world. See, it's a lot of y'all. It's not just one group. Everybody's guilty of this. And this is why we stay collectively losing. How you have a freaking African Union and you have all that calamity? Why in the hell that's going on in South Africa with the African Union? And y'all have troops. You have African Union troops. Why didn't you call the president of South Africa and say, hey, President Ramaphosa, hey, you need us to send these African Union troops down there? What's going on so we can make sure everything go good? You can't handle it? Because this is what we do. It shouldn't be no division on the continent with an African Union there. And that's what Gaddafi was trying to do. But every time somebody really trying to do it, them folks make sure they take you out. But you know what? If everybody was on unification, they can't take you all out. They can't kill 1 billion of you like that. When is it one man, one woman trying? They become a target. And then what a lot of y'all do, and I'm talking about everywhere, you had this one man and one woman taking a stand, and then now you put a bullseye on them because, number one, you don't protect them, and you're not unified enough to say, okay, if something happened to them, listen, we got the message. We're going to continue that. It's not about one man or one woman or even one group. It's about the message of unification, and we tired. Listen, on the African continent, aren't you tired Are you tired of living in the conditions that you're living in when you got the wealth of the world underneath your feet? The white man begging to get in there. France is leeching off of the West Africa. They admitted a long time ago that they would be a third world country if they didn't have West Africa. There's no way you should be living the way you living, all because of division and not coming together. You want to talk about Wakanda? Y'all got all the stuff to be a Wakanda if that's what you want to be. You got the gold. You got all the diamonds. You have the oil. You have the cocoa. You have everything the world needs right there on that continent. How is it that the Western world can get together and leech off of you and living great, and while you suffering? That doesn't even make sense. All because you don't want to unify. Your religion is not doing nothing for you. This is why I'm not for religion. I love God all day. Yes, I do. I believe in God and all that. I pray, but I do refuse to be a part of anybody's religion, because religion has done nothing but kept division between black people. Oh, you're not in my religion, so I can't help you. Or you're not in my religion. Or you're an infidel. You just like, man, forget that. What is that religion getting you? Because everybody is so religious, you're broke. Let's call it what it is. Unless you're a mega preacher, you're broke. You ain't got nothing going on. You're not helping your people. Where's that getting you? Don't the scriptures teach to come together in unity and do something? Aren't you tired of losing? While you watching all these other groups constantly win off of unification, Pan-Europeanism is working very good for them. Why don't you try it? Why don't you really try Pan-Africanism for a change? Try it. See if it works. Try it 20 years. Let's all come together and work together as a group, and let's see if it works. That's the one thing they don't want you to do. Even Dr. John Henry Clark said that. That's the greatest fear that the white supremacists have, is you coming together. I'm personally tired of seeing us talking about, oh, look at what's happening, Phil. Man, Phil, because you report what's going on here. And I'm like, we shouldn't even be in this position. Even here in America, we shouldn't be in this position. Our ancestors, you can say what you want to say about a lot of them, but a lot of them weren't no punks, man. They weren't no punks. They took it to the white supremacists. They wouldn't play around. A lot of our ancestors were brave and courageous. We need some wins, man. But we can't get no wins like being separated. And we need to have like one collective message. Okay, reparations, cool. Fight for that. No problem. I ain't got an issue fighting for reparations, but we can't allow all these dissenters to go unchecked as well. Cause like the Haitians understood in 1804, we got to deal with all these people who gonna go report back to massa first. We got to deal with them first. Then we can move on. But see, they unified to even deal with them. Because when the good people unify, it's more good people out here than it is bad. You got black folks that, well, I don't know if I want to say, black, okay, African American, but we don't want to seem like, we're being militant. Okay, we've done that too. That's not seeing how we're militant. And where's that gotten black people? And why is it that when black people talking about coming together and thinking about black people, why is that considered militant? Being a slave haven't got you anything. Look at our position. A lot of you is in a slave-like position. You don't want to offend massa. You want to go along to get along with massa. You don't want to make massa upset at all. And look at the position that we're in. We're still in a bad position. So obviously that don't work. But historically, when you don't go along with massa, you unify, and you got a goal in mind, that usually works. Even in South Africa, that also worked at one point in time too, when y'all had enough of the white supremacists. Come on, aren't y'all tired of losing? You can't point to me no black person that's rich. Okay, well, Jay-Z and Oprah and Dr. Dre, that don't mean crap. in the collective black world. They got many other black folks that got money in the Caribbean, in the continent of Africa. And look at still how we all as a collective. That don't mean crap. Now you compare that to how many rich Chinese they have, how many rich Mzungus is out there in their world. That's not even a drop in the bucket. So I don't want to hear no talk about that. LeBron James, man, LeBron James, he's an employee. He's a rich employee, but he's an employee. That's another thing too. Stop taking pride in being an employee, because that's not power. Power is owning your own businesses. That's where the power lies. And then creating a job for your people. That's some of the best thing that you can do. Now let's talk about my company. My company is a company that has proven that black people in America and Africans on the continent can work together on a daily basis. Every day I'm dealing with people on the continent. Brother Elvis, he edits for us. We got brother Sharif, he's right here in Houston. Sister Demetria, she's here in Houston too, as well. One Gale is over there, in the continent as well. Okay. And every day we talking, working with each other, making sure things go right. Other people I'm dealing with as contributors, other sister, in the Cameroon recently I think Clarice, that's her name. We working with her, and anybody else is trying to come in. How is it that people can come together and work here in harmony? So don't tell me we can't work together. So if I can work together with other people in the diaspora, then why is it that we can't all come together on a collective basis? My thing is when people start telling me, well, I'm not them. Okay, cool. We're not them. Where are we at today because we're not them? Where are we? Are we better off? I'm just saying, are we better off? Good and well, even opposition here in America shouldn't be where it's at. Our greatest failure as Black America, and this has nothing to do with me and you, but our greatest failure was what? After the Civil Rights Movement, when you had the white supremacists back on the wall, where they had to give you laws to pass, right? Which was the right way to be. You got too freaking excited about your access to going where the white man go at. And while you backed off and enjoyed yourself in the 70s, the white man was making his plan to try to get you again. You have to understand the unification in the 60s. We have to study that. Today, I know some of y'all get frustrated with the civil rights generation and you're seeing what they're doing today. But if you study the civil rights generation back in the 60s, our movement here in America spread throughout the world to the point that African countries was getting their independence. Prior to what our movement, they didn't have any of that. That is the power of unification, folks. Even when y'all talk about, well, white folks don't want us to have reparations. Well, white folks didn't want you off the plantation either. The majority of white folks wanted black folks to stay enslaved. Did we say we're going to stay enslaved? Or did brothers and sisters constantly rebel and fight back constantly with slave rebellions? They didn't just put up with it. That's why slavery became a problem. You look at Jim Crow. You think they want us out of Jim Crow? You think the majority of white folks said, oh, yeah, Jim Crow is wrong. No. Every time when it comes to give black people something, they have never wanted us to have it. So why is it today some of you accept them saying, well, they really don't support it? We never cared about their support. We said, no, anytime that we've gotten anything in this country, we went out and took what we needed. We didn't go beg them. We didn't vote for nothing. The Civil Rights Act didn't come from voting. Black people lining up, oh, let me vote. They didn't come from that. The Fair Housing Act, they didn't come from no voting. They came from brothers and sisters putting in work in the streets. And the white supremacists say, oh, whoa, it's too much. Let me give them Negroes what they need because we can't deal with this. That's just the truth of Black American history. South Africa, they start putting in the work and ended the apartheid government. And also we was helping with this side with the boycott South Africa movement. So we were working together with our sisters and brothers in South Africa to end apartheid. That's how Nelson Mandela became president. And F.W. de Klerk, he was the last white president of South Africa. Don't tell me what we can't do as when we unified. Did they beg and for a vote to get out of apartheid? Hell no. We got to get out of this. Well, we just vote, and if you just vote this one in, man, that's not the way it works. Politicians are whores. They only do what's best for them and where the money resides. That's it. And long as the corporation's not losing no money, because the corporations control your politicians. It don't matter what country it is in the world. The business class control the politician. So when you cause the business class to lose money, they tap on the politician to either protect their money or give the people what they want because they're losing money. See, Martin Luther King, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about King, but King really had their number a long time ago. When King said, you know what? We're not going to ride these buses for a year. We're not going to do that. And you know what? Nobody opened their mouth and bucked against that. They say, you know what? That's all carpool. Not all Black people had cars, but you had Black people saying, okay, let me pick these brothers and sisters up in my car, and we go drop each other off to work for over a year because the Black people was being disrespected on those buses. And after a year of them taking the money away through unification of Black people, they had to change the law in the U.S. Supreme Court where you couldn't discriminate against Black folks in that manner. This is the power of unification. But Black folks today, if you to say, hey, let's go on and boycott, let me throw out a corporation, Walmart. Let's boycott Walmart. Man, shoot, why I got to be boycotting Walmart, man? That Walmart right by my house. What, you telling me I got to go drive, 10 blocks down the street to the next store? I mean, come on, man. Y'all asking for too much. Like telling you to drive down to the next store down the street. And you can't avoid a Walmart. Man, brother, it's the only store in town. Well, go to the next town. Man, oh, come on now. You asking for too much. And this is why we perpetually stay losing. A lot of you don't want to put in the work, and it's not even work that you got to even break a law. When it comes to a boycott, just don't spend your money. Nobody breaking a law doing that. Nobody telling you to go destroy property. Nobody telling you nothing. You could easily solve the majority of Black problems by strong economic boycotts. Strong ones. The Jewish community, and the reason why the Jewish community gets so much respect is because the Jewish community not going to let you disrespect them. They're going to create an economic consequence for you, even if you make them money. Nick Cannon. All that money Nick Cannon made for them, when Nick Cannon disrespected them, they say, oh, it ain't about the money no more. It's the principle. Because if we sit up there and let you disrespect us, then somebody else going to do it. And they unified real quick on Nick Cannon to shut him down. Well, he was apologizing for over a year. We could do the same thing as Black people. We the biggest consumer on the planet Earth. We consume more media than any other group. If we start shutting down targeting websites, targeting corporations, all we got to do is make an example out of maybe one or two, and you watch how they start treating us at that point. Just watch. We are disrespected because we as a collective allow people to disrespect us by our inaction. Let me tell you something. Power never respects crying. It fuels them even more because they're bullies. Oh, well, they racist against me. And they don't care. What they care about is you giving a consequence to that racism. I reported a video from a sister. It was a flight attendant at United Airlines. If that same thing would have happened to someone within, let's say, the Jewish community, the whole community would have found out about that and seen that United Airlines didn't do anything because they're being anti-Jewish. And then they would have said, you know what? We ain't flying you no more. Nope. We ain't flying you until you meet our demands. It's too easy to boycott something. Too easy. All you got to do is just not go there when you got other places to even fly. But no, we have to wait till somebody die like George Floyd before we do something. Why? Why does it take somebody to die? Have you ever thought about that? Why a brother or sister got to lose their life in a horrific manner? Why? Before you get together. Why? Can we just see some disrespect and say, let's respond? Let's not give my money anymore? Is it that hard? But see, all them other folks, Pan-Europeanism, for one, they understand you'll get away with disrespecting them for so much before they start, unifying and super copping up on you. For example, they unified against Colin Kaepernick real quick, didn't they? They didn't matter how much smoke Colin Kaepernick was causing in the NFL. They ain't let Colin Kaepernick back on that football field. Why? Because they know how to unify against black folk. That's why. They don't allow the disrespect. They allow it for so long, but then they say, okay, all right now. All right. What does that owner from the Houston Texans say? We can't let the prisoners run the prison, or is that how he said it? Before he died, he said that. In other words, we can't let these Negroes run this league. What y'all got going on? Which black men shouldn't even be in that problem. What all black men got to do is say, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. We have no ownership in the NFL at all. No ownership. All the coaches none of them look like us. So you know what? Until we get these demands met, we're not playing. We're just going to sit it out. We'll sit it out. Watch how quick some black owners come in that league. Watch. Even if they committed to say, we'll sit out a full season. Don't matter. You can sue us or whatever. Take your money away. I'm good on money anyway. We'll sit it out. NBA, same thing. I know, you got maybe Michael Jordan and maybe somebody, whatever. But the NBA should have more owners as black. Of anything, like some people may say in the chat, because I'm not looking, I'm trying to focus. Well, why don't they create their own league? I agree with that 2,000%. Why can't they create their own league? Because it takes unification to do that. It takes a lot of unification. And Massa are going to throw a lot of money at you before you even get to that point to not leave the NBA or the NFL. But because we don't have unification and we think about, self and whatever else that we think about, it's the reason why we don't have those things. That's why. But what I'm telling you is, as long as we keep this up, we're going to stay a permanent underclass, and we're going to be the footstool for every group that comes into this country to get to their American dream. Or if you're in the Caribbean, you keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to be the footstool for the Chinese and the white folks to do whatever they want to do in your countries, which they are. Same thing on the African continent. You keep that up with that tribalism. You're not my tribe. You're not my religion. You're not my people. And you will see what happens. This is why they have chosen puppets in there to do their bidding, and why the puppets driving a Range Rover and you walking around in sandals. I'm not disrespecting none of you. I'm telling you the truth as your brother. You can hate me, but don't hate the messenger, hate the truth. And if you talk crap about me, that's fine. At the end of what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you this in love, because even the scriptures teach that you chastise those you love. The evening news not going to talk to you like this, because the evening news wants you divided. They want you destitute. They want you living in the hood. They don't want you not having anything. They want you in the shanty town. They want you in the slum, so they can go around taking pictures of you. I never forget that when I was in Kibera and you had them two Mzungu females walking around with their cell phones taking pictures of black people like they animals doing it. And I cut a look at them. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even allow something like that to happen in a capital city. You're supposed to be unified and making sure your people is good. We got to tighten up as a people globally. It's just not one group globally. We got to tighten up as a people. Work with each other. Black men, we need to work with each other the best way we can. It's not about sometimes even personalities. Listen, I understand not everybody like my personality. It may not. I may not like some other people's personality. But if we can work together, let's work together and do something as brothers, sisters. I still keep preaching this about the hair care industry and the beauty industry. Y'all have all this education. Where's the black women conglomerate saying enough is enough? We taking over this industry because we as black women run the yard on that as a consumer. Don't you realize that the Asian economy will crash in America tomorrow if you say enough is enough? No. We're tired of the disrespect. We're tired of the fighting and the hitting. And we're sick of the disrespect from the Democrat and Republican Party giving them a hate crime bill over us. So no, we got to retaliate financially. You got a brother I just saw recently from Black Dragon. I think he's in Baltimore. Shout out to him. He got a black brother with a Chinese restaurant. Shout out to him. I go to his Chinese restaurant in a minute. I sure would. We can do anything as black people. We capable. Black people capable of making sushi. Black people capable of everything on the planet. But we need to start respecting each other enough and shopping with each other and unifying enough with each other. And listen, this is why I did members only chat. You don't need no permission to unify with black people. You don't need permission, and you don't need no explanation to nobody. Because what happens in these chats, and I've seen it a lot of times, what happens in these chats is this, okay? Well, white supremacists come in the chat, and he because that slave in you want to start explaining. Well, we're not being racist. Nobody even thinking about you when it comes to other people. We think about self-preservation of black people. We're not thinking about nobody else because they're not thinking about us, except to when it's time to attack black. That's when they're thinking about us, or when they can use us or steal our ideas. So many of you brothers and sisters are so educated, giving your $1 million ideas to these Mzungus and whoever else you're working for, making millions off of you, and they paying you pennies. I talked to a sister yesterday that is an executive producer at one of the local media places. She wanted to be an on-air talent. She showed me like her videos and stuff like that. I'm like, why she isn't on air? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about taking a job in Wisconsin, I think only making $31,000 so she could be on air. And I'm looking at her like, what? I'm just looking at her and I'm like, this sister should have her own platform, and I'm just sitting up here just listening and paying attention. These people don't respect us, man. They don't respect us at all. And yet we giving our all to these people. That we should not be doing this. We should have so many black media outlets. We don't need one or two people. We need a lot of good people out here, people that got training. People, listen, anybody listening that's maybe working in journalism in these Mzungu-owned companies, please set yourself up to come out of that. There's plenty of room for you. There's a lot of money for you too. Way more money in this than what you're getting over there from them people. Them people making you work 8 hours a day. And for nothing. And they controlling what you say. One sister I spoke to, she said she worked on a whole story trying to expose something, and they shut her whole story down. Imagine that. You put all that time in, and they shut your story down. She should have her own media outlet. I'm gonna craft it, but I'm definitely willing to help, those brothers and sisters that's trying to transition from legacy media to the black media we have now, to online media, because that's where it's at anyway. Nobody gonna tell you what to do. Nobody gonna tell you what to say. If you pissed off, be pissed off. But that comes with unification. That's where it comes from. I had so many people asking me how to transition to that last night. And I want to help those brothers and sisters that's kind of asking those questions, who got the media training, who got their journalism and communications and all of that. I would like to help them. But that comes with unification, because for a while I kind of pulled back, from trying to help certain people, because it burned me in many ways. I got burned in a lot of different ways. Not a bad burn, but some burns I think shouldn't have happened. But I'm not upset about anything. I'm not, no grudges. No, there's none of that. But, sometimes people don't want the same thing that you want in certain areas. And you're just me, learning life. That's the way it happens, right? But we need to understand, everybody else is unified. And we still playing this game, globally playing this game. You coming in here saying that, oh, well, I'm going to repeat this again. Black Americans this, Black Americans that. You just coming in here saying that, talking down on Black Americans. Your tribalism failed you. So why you bringing that here? You're going to fail here too. You keep that up. Fundamentals bring success. And the only reason you can take advantage of what happens here is because Black Americans were unified enough to make certain institutions happen. And I'm only saying this because I love y'all. That's it. I'm not saying it because I hate you. I'm gonna look in the chat. Just let me look here for a minute. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You say they vandalized George Floyd's statue. You said we can also let go of their low-paying jobs, self-employment. I'm all for self-employment. Oh yes. Self-employment is where it's at. We need self-employment. I don't believe black folks should be killing. Listen, let me tell you something. I did it, working 12 to 16 hours, and the amount of money I made there, I think about now, I don't even work hard like that no more and make way more money than that. And I work for myself. Nobody's telling me what to do. And I have people that work with me. I don't like to say for me, but I say with me, because we all working together as a team. I tried to, and also I saw one person say, y'all, you shop black owned, right? Which is good. You should be shopping black owned. All my products that I'm trying to get black owned. I had the brothers from True Products. I'm probably put that interview up. The washing liquid, I'm sorry. Black owned. The soap I buy to wash my body, black owned. You understand? Like, we can find so many black owned things. Just start one by one, finding good companies. I'm not saying a black company that's no good. No, but research, they got some good companies. If you are, for instance, need athletic clothes, and I know they should be paying me to say this, but I'm just giving this out today. The company Actively Black, they have the best workout clothes. All black people should not be using Nike and Adidas and all these other companies. You should be using Actively Black, because Nike and Adidas and all they crap shrink when you wash it. Actively Black, I've washed their stuff numerous of times and none of it shrunk. Not a bit of it. They got men and women. All black people should be using Actively Black. And people are using it because they're starting to get sold out of things. I won't buy another Nike outfit again because I got that. Okay, Sherry, you say you know about the burns from your own experience, because some of us black people wallow in the crab mentality, but we can press forward. Yes, we can. We can press forward. But we have to understand there's also some black people we're going to have to cut off. That's another thing. We are one of the only groups that will sit up here and try to carry along the degenerates and those that don't want to do what's right in the community. Remember the Haitians. They said we got to deal with those people first. Pookie and Ray Ray. No, y'all got to stop that. That's not going to help black folk. Now, Pookie and Ray Ray want to reform themselves. That's different. You know, all of the hood rat situation. No, that's one big problem with a lot of us. You want to save those who are not even trying to save themselves. I love a redemption story. I love a second chance, but we can't be sitting up there carrying everybody. Or we'll just stay in the same position that we're in. At one point in time in Black America, for sure, we wouldn't put up with that. But now we try to call the things they do culture. That's not our culture. That trash is not our culture. I do not accept trash as culture. And then another thing, I'm glad I brought that up. If you see anybody from the Caribbean or the continent of Africa talking about Black Americans don't have a culture, don't even respond to them. Block them, because they idiots. Black American culture is worldwide already. You fighting so much about your culture, where your culture's gotten you. Same thing. There you go, dividing. How your country looking? You talking about your culture. Your culture ain't got you nowhere because you're not right. You're not following the ways of the Lord. The Lord said unify, not be dividing about some culture. You struggling and watching the Chinese come build big houses in your land and the white folks living all kind of good around you, and you just staring at them living good, living it up in resorts that you could never get access to in your own country. But you telling me about a culture? Culture don't equal dollars, sir or ma'am. I'm not attacking your culture, but I'm just saying. These folks that's coming in there, they believe in Pan-Europeanism. That's the only thing I'm saying. And this is why you're following the system that they created, the banking system that they created. Passports. Why do we have to get passports to go to different countries? Because Pan-Europeanism made sure to control all the systems. Black folks going to African country talking about a visa. I think that's despicable. Oh, I can't get into the African country because of a visa. Really? If we had any kind of Pan-Africanism about ourselves, you wouldn't need a freaking visa to come to an African country. That doesn't even make sense. I'm not saying you don't check nobody's background, but shoot. You treating us no different than you treat a freaking Mzungu coming in there. Oh, you guys are foreigners. Of course we're not from there, but we all black at the end of the day. Y'all got to get up off of that foreigner crap when it comes to black people. Some of them say, well, you guys aren't African. Man, the whole world look at us as black, African. And no matter what you say don't run crap. Not a thing. They don't know the difference between me or Nigerian or Ghanaian or Liberian. They don't know the difference when we stand there by each other quiet and don't say nothing. They don't know the difference. So y'all need to get up off of that. Because it's not getting us nowhere. Like I said, if it was getting us somewhere, my mouth would be shut. Because obviously it's working, but it's not. You just walk around with this pride and don't have nothing to show for your pride. Nothing. Except your politicians living good. Well, I'm looking at this particular super chat. It say Brother Phil, it said we need to centralize fiat, common currency, along with supporting black business, and supporting black business would be futile, destroying the movements. Well, if our brothers and sisters on the continent would unify, that's all the funding you need is there. All that gold, and they got uranium. They got uranium in the African continent, uranium is used to make nuclear weapons. They literally have it there, uranium. They have titanium, they have copper, they have anything you need that's natural resources. That African continent should not look like that. I'm telling you. The whole continent should be the central place to be. And it's eventually it's trying to morph to that. But the problem is these folks are running over there. They're running over there. The Chinese, everybody's trying to run in there. And because of not being unified, some of you don't want to be there. I ain't trying to be. I had one of them tell me, you trying to tell us to go, whatever, somewhere go. I think it was South Africa it was. And look what's happening over there. I'm like, well, just stay with the white man then. Stay with him. Matter of fact, go work at his house. Be a slave. I'm not going to be mad at you to do that. Because you have no foresight. That's a lot of your problem. If black people unify, we can all work together to help. Because in my opinion, once I looked at the advantages of the African continent, it's like we all should be there trying to work together and build that up. It's enough for everybody to get, actually. But you can't go there with your hand out. You can't go there acting this American arrogance either. Because some of you act just like that white man. Because you've been around him too long. Arrogant, expecting people to serve you. No, that's not the way it works. When you go to somebody's house, because some people may not do this, but when you go to somebody's house, let's say they're inviting you to a dinner, you bring something. You don't go empty-handed. Even if they tell you, nah, I don't need nothing, bring something anyway. You bring something to the table. You just don't go there talking about, well, I'm coming to get my piece of the pie. I'm coming to get my healing. I'm coming to get this. I'm coming to get, okay, cool. But what are you giving back? What are you giving back? How I feel is my job to give at least jobs. Can I at least do that much? What if you hire 3, 4, 5 of them? At least you're bringing some jobs and helping the economy. And you know what's going to end up happening with that? People going to look at that and appreciate that and say, man, you're not just coming to get some money or get whatever you're trying to get, but you're trying to give back to the community. You helping out with jobs. You helping out with sponsoring maybe schools or doing whatever. You're trying to do something. Don't go nowhere. It don't matter where you're going nowhere, even to the next state over. Don't go nowhere where somebody should serve you. Nobody got to serve you. Go with a humble heart. Go as a servant. And as you serve others, people will serve you back. That's the way that works. Don't look at the ways of the white man with his arrogance. Yeah, you're right. Home training 102. You're right, man. Never go to someone's house empty-handed. That's right. So, thank you for the super sticker, sister, and all the people that joined as members during the chat. See, I like this members chat because we have no trolling happen, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us on our stream, my impromptu stream. If Brother Elvis get me that video, I'll try to do another stream. I'm gonna get with him actually after this and find out when he'll be done with that, and we could look at that video together and talk about South Africa. But, you know, brothers and sisters in South Africa, I'm telling you, put aside the tribalism. Put aside that he's Nigerian, he's Somali, he's Ethiopian. Put that crap aside. Put it aside. He's not my tribe. Stop. Because it's not getting you anywhere. That's my message to you and many others. G Nash, thank you for joining the platform today. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's definitely been nice talking to you. I don't like to keep you for too long because I don't want to, just, how that goes, right? So thank you for listening and see you next time.